Michael, no kidding. Warner says a Hogwarts Legacy follow-up is a major priority for the company. Wonder why. Tom Lyman over at BGC. Warner Brothers Discovery has said it's planning a follow-up to last year's smash hit, Hogwarts Legacy. Quote, obviously, a successor to Hogwarts Legacy is one of the biggest priorities in a couple of years down the road, end quote. The chief financial officer, Gunnar Winsenfels, said at Bank of America conference on Wednesday. Quote, so there is certainly a significant growth contribution from that business in our strategic outlook here, end quote. The Harry Potter spin-off, which has sold over 24 million copies since its release last February, was 2023's best-selling game ahead of the Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Michael, never saw that one coming, did you? Warner also released Harry Potter Quidditch Champions on Tuesday. The console and PC title is billed as a, quote, a fast-paced competitive multiplayer game featuring the world's most iconic magical sport, end quote. Dude, I kind of like it, actually. It makes a lot of sense. I was back into that last night as well. Just touching away. I got too many things, Mike. I got too many games. That's what's going on. But it's, dude, of course this is a priority. It was last year's best-selling game, 24 million copies right now. Why wouldn't you work on a sequel? And if they pull this off, man, did you play Hogwarts Legacy?
Oh yeah, I hopped into this. This game was absolutely fantastic. I think I'm right there with you. A sequel had to be coming. The one interesting thing is, as you mentioned, one of the things that everybody, myself and I think you included, I think we've talked about it, that people wanted in Hogwarts Legacy was Quidditch. But now we got a standalone Quidditch game. So that's kind of interesting. If we get a 2, of course, we're a couple years down the road from it. Will it have Quidditch when Warner has their standalone game that in 2 years could be a big thing? I've seen people comparing it, and some people maybe calling it the next Rocket League. That feels a little out of step, but we'll have to see. So that's the one thing that kind of like caught my eye. I was like, okay, if we get a Hogwarts Legacy 2, I want Quidditch. But now there's a standalone Quidditch game. So I'm curious how that affects it. But no, as you said, this is a no-brainer. If it beats Zelda, you got to come out with this game. I'm honestly shocked we didn't hear about this sooner, Drew, if anything, because this should have been like, oh yeah, this is coming out. I don't know why we waited over a year for them to be like, yeah, we're working on this.
No, dude, the minute that game wrapped up, and we're already talking about numbers, you have to be thinking that, okay, what do we do now for the sequel? I think that's the biggest question. What do they do for the sequel? Do they give us some more tie-ins with the films, or do they stay away from it like they did with Hogwarts Legacy, which I think was the shining light for this game? Dude, we were our own student. You got to pick your own class and go out and do your own thing, right? It was your own experience. It was obviously a step way before the movies, so it makes a ton of sense. So how much further do they bump that timeline, right? Do we get into another student role? You don't want to do the simple rinse and repeat. Like, I already did this. So how do they top that? I'm very curious. I'd love to be a fly on the wall right now when all the writers are together talking about, okay, what do we do here? Because we have one of the biggest games. How do we top that? Can they do that? We've seen a lot of sequel ideas come out and just not hit, but then we've seen others do that just smash it out of the park. One of my go-tos every time, Assassin's Creed 2. You go from 1, dude, 2 just changed the game. But 1 was a little mediocre, where this already came out swinging and hit huge. So how do you then get those expectations to then get into the sequel and not be a flop? I think I'm more now nervous that we don't get such a great experience as we did here. How do they step it up? Michael, where would you like to see them take it? Any ideas?
I wonder if there's a world where we take it, and I don't know how much is even developed, is after the film, right? We've done before.
Oh.
Let's try and maybe go after, because I think you're right. If we go, maybe there's a world where 2 goes into the film, and then if we go into a 3, maybe it's after the film, but I think you're right. I think if we can stay away from the film universe, that's just so explored. So I wonder how much we can go, let's try after the film, right? How much can we do after the film? And really, maybe that's so undeveloped, they have everything at their hands, right? They can just do whatever they want, because they can just say, look, there's no known lore, let's just go that. So maybe that's what I'm actually thinking of. When you said before the film, I was like, let's go after the film, right? Let's go after the film. Cool. We have references that we're going to know, but we're not going to know any of the characters. So that's what I'm thinking. Let's go after the film for Hogwarts Legacy 2.
Absolutely. Dude, where's the DLC? Like, that's why don't we have any DLC? Why aren't I back in the world? I am technically playing Quidditch, but it's not, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a whole different game by itself. I want to be back in Hogwarts. Dude, that world was stunning. It was absolutely incredible. This massive world that I can go and explore and find and loot and just gear up, and there's just so much on the go. So many things you could do in that world. I want to be back into it, and I wanted something to pull me back in. Give me more story. Give me more lore. Give me, Michael, is really kind of what I'm at right now. Getting onto the Quidditch side, because yeah, a lot of us did complain, yo, it's not there in the game. Why isn't it here? Oh, well, we're making our own Quidditch. It's going to be a separate thing. And everyone's like, oh, why are you doing this? If they tied that in, I think it would have taken away from the game.
I agree.
Right? I think it was a smart move to leave it out. Hey, no, it's been canceled throughout the season. We're not allowed to whatever. Dude, they even had like a whole reference to it within the game, which I thought was incredible. To bring it out on its own thing, I do want to see how many legs it has, right? Because right now it has this season. Dude, you just play the game, you grind it out, you get the season, you get the rewards, you get new brooms, you get new like tails to kind of go behind it, like a gust of wind kind of thing, right? So a flare, we'll call it, I guess. So there's a bunch of in-game currency you can earn. Of course, there's a store you can get into as well if you want to buy some of your well-known characters, but you can grind it all out too. So very, very cool. I definitely will be jumping in. I just don't know how much, just because I have so many other things on the go. But I know my son's pretty cool on it too. He's like, Dad, this is pretty neat. I'm like, yeah, dude, they paid attention. And I think that's the biggest thing, dude. If Warner Brothers pays attention, the sequel could be another smash hit.